What's going on, everyone? My name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Shit Show. Specifically, thank you for tuning in to another Saw video. Yes, people, I am living up to my promise. If you haven't seen my Saw 1 review or Saw X way back when, check those two out. People, I am going through every single Saw film leading up to Saw 11, which is due to release in late September. So, if that's something you're interested in, definitely tune back in. With that being said, let's go.
Y'all come see the shit show?
Saw 2, unrated. Let's see here. In the film, a group of ex convicts are trapped by the Jigsaw Killer inside a house and must pass a series of deadly tests to retrieve the antidote for a nerve agent that will kill them in 2 hours. In case you're wondering why I made a face, there's this dog somewhere. There it was, just barking at random occurrences, so, pardon me. People, Saw 2. Get ready for cold opens where you're just dropped into someone waking up mid trap, if you will. In this particular case, we meet Michael Marks, who we find out through Jigsaw's dialogue that this man is an informant for a police officer. Long story short, Jigsaw or his apprentices, who knows, they placed a key behind his eye. So this man must use a scalpel to cut around it or through it and retrieve the key, unlock the fucking Iron Maiden wrapped around his neck, all in 1 fucking minute, people. Are you shitting me? At least Billy the Puppet is here, our friendly mascot for the series. I don't know why I said friendly, that is far from the case. But unfortunately, people, another familiar face is here. Our friend Shitty Horrible Editing. Yes, okay. One thing Saul's known for is that hyper focus and just cokehead editing. Hopefully, by the time we finish these goddamn things, I've actually come up with a proper term for it. Either way, that is here to stay. And I'm sorry to harp on this, people, because I know this is an old movie. Okay, it's 20 years old at this point. Happy 20th anniversary, by the way. But this opening scene kind of would have been dope, if I'm being honest with you, if not for the horrible editing. It's really working against it here. I'm going to try to say this respectfully. Michael passes on to the next world, so to speak. Brutal fucking way to go out. And then we cut to Donnie Wahlberg, who plays Eric Matthews. Yes, okay, I'm not going to skip past it. Wahlberg, yes, okay. Marky Mark's older brother, who, if you don't know, New Kids on the Block, that's Donnie. Yes, please don't go, girl. Yes, all that shit. This dude. He is picking up his young son, who looks like a diet Timothy Chalamet. He's picking up young Wonka, so to speak, and Wonka, he fucking hates his dad. Probably because he's a dick cop, but mainly because he's always chain smoking fucking cigarettes. Jesus Christ, this is the 2000s. Daniel is the kid's name. We're introduced to those two with Eric picking up Daniel, who's in a back room somewhere. Looks like he was shoplifting and got caught. Apparently, this kid, he's a little troubled, but he's not a bad kid. We're not quite at scared straight just yet. It's not too late. Those two get into an argument, and Daniel stops answering his dad's calls, which sucks because, he's trying to reach out to his son, but also he gets called into work, which is a common occurrence. Apparently, he's too busy to raise his own child, which is probably why Daniel's lashing out, etc., etc. Eric gets pulled into the crime scene from earlier. Masked Michael Marks? Yeah, him. It turns out that was Eric's informant. And not only that, this plot, this whole game is just to pull Eric himself in. So specifically, he's being targeted. And I gotta say, if you're targeted by Jigsaw and his accomplices, kiss your ass goodbye. Carrie, an important character in this film and in the sequel Saw 3, which I'm pointing to, she will come back in that one for sure. I think that's about it. Who knows? I'm not trying to get in spoiler territory. She says some things early on that makes me think Eric Matthews, he's not really a good cop. Also meet Rig, played by Lyric Bent. I just realized I recently reviewed Four Brothers. I don't know if the video is up by now, depending on this. In that video, Mark Wahlberg and this guy, Lyric Bent, they're also in it together. I found it really interesting. One might have used their connection to one another and got in the film. Yeah, just a small little aside. Rig is actually important. This man is in charge of the SWAT team. What SWAT team, you might ask? The one raiding Jigsaw's current hideout. Oh shit, people, we're here. This is where death comes to play. Okay, that sounded corny as fuck. Editor, you better cut that shit out.
Nope.
Whatever. Riggs is calling the shots. Jigsaw's there in a wheelchair, still dressed like the goddamn devil. Except, he grew out his hair. Ain't looking like me anymore. Also hooked to an IV. Things are looking bad for this guy. Honestly, I love this portrayal of John Kramer. This and, I can't quite get into it, but there's a few other ones where Tobin Bell really gets to shine. His whole thing is, Eric Matthews, all you need to do is sit here and talk to me. Eventually, I'm going to release your son who is in a safe and secure place. Apparently, there's this huge game going on involving 8 people, if I'm not mistaken. This is a big step up from Saw 1. And this is being played in some creepy ass abandoned house that's being filled with the nerve gas. Apparently, after 2 hours, this nerve gas is going to attack your nerve system and shut you the fuck down. You're going to go into convulsions and you're just going to fucking die. So, stakes are high early on. 8 strangers wake up in this shitty house with some unknown connection, and that starts the games. Fake ass Mark Ruffalo looking guy is one of the 8 survivors, okay? Don't get attached to this guy because he's out really early. This guy, along with Xavier, the guy on screen right now, Xavier is actually a major character for this film, so you'll hear me bring him up. Those two, they don't follow the rules, and fake ass Mark Ruffalo pays the price.
Fuck this, man. Yeah, fuck this. That's a good idea.
No, that's not a good idea.
So what are we gonna do, huh? Sit here?
The note said not to use the key.
Who gives a shit about the note, all right? This is all a fucking big goddamn joke, and I'm about to end it.
That's the A-plot. Oftentimes between Rig, Carrie, and Matthews, there's a lot of infighting. But it mostly relies on John and Eric, okay? That is going to be the core. Which, by the way, John, early on, goddamn MVP of this entire film. He is acting circles around everyone. And it is really obvious when he's in the scene with Donnie Wahlberg. Pardon me, people. I'm going to try to introduce all the 8 players by name. Yeah, fuck that. No, I'm not. Remember earlier when I mentioned Xavier? Yeah, this guy, he sort of like takes charge early on. He's more of a solo player, don't get it twisted. But this dude, he ends up causing most of the arguments and the fights. This guy is not to be fucked with. I'm gonna keep it real. He honestly scares me. I know it's fictional, but I ain't fucking with this dude at all. Meanwhile, to offset him, you have this character, Jonas, who's actually trying to gather the crew and piece shit together. Like, this is the one I would follow. Too bad for him, because you know what? While he's trying to figure shit out, Laura walks into a door and it leads to the basement. Oh shit, you never go down in the basement, people. Now this leads to a critical event in the film because this is part of the game. They are supposed to go down there because in that basement lies 2 antidotes. But wait, it's within the goddamn furnace. You son of a bitch, John. Specifically, there's an envelope waiting for Obi. That's the Assassin's Creed looking dude with the hood who really doesn't say shit at the beginning. That fucking guy. In that envelope lies a tape, and that's where it's revealed that Avi helped kidnap the others. So fuck this guy already. Naturally, this causes a little bit of a riff-raff between the group. And while that's happening, the goddamn nerve gas is really taking a toll on these people. I mean, Addison, this character right here on screen, she's seen coughing up blood. Everyone's kind of weak and lightheaded. You know, eventually they all enter the same stages. So, you know, time is ticking. Needless to say, people, this isn't going to end well for Avi. Even if he did the task perfectly, they would have beat the shit out of him afterwards. He was not going to walk home. Specifically Xavier, that's what I'm referring to. Xavier doesn't give a shit that Avi's in pain, who is screaming like a goddamn bitch. Naturally, as you would, but this guy's the fucking ops. I don't feel too bad for this dude. I gotta be real. Back to the B plot though. Jigsaw and Eric are still sitting down. Jigsaw's still just, you know, tearing and piecing apart Eric, much to his own chagrin. Not kidding, John is breaking down his barriers, sometimes Eric's psyche as well. I mean, he is really cutting deep. This is where we get a little bit of John's backstory. Apparently, once he found out about his cancer diagnosis, he'd given up on life. Remember that in the sequels, by the way, which cannot wait till we get to some retcons and some shit that's added in that's never touched on previously. Anyway, John tries to unalive himself by driving off a cliff. He ends up surviving, of course, but this gives him a newfound way of life. Compared to some of the sequels, this one is a real fucking movie. You'll understand what I mean by that if you continue watching this specific series. Within this info dump, we also get that specific line from John.
What do you think the cure for cancer is, Eric?
What?
The cure for cancer. What is it?
I don't know what it is. But I know it's not killing and torturing people for your own sick fucking pleasure.
I've never murdered anyone in my life. The decisions are up to them.
Yeah, well, putting a gun to someone's head and forcing them to pull the trigger is still murder.
Since when is force a problem for you?
Once again, I am torn because I want to punch that motherfucker for saying this dumbass shit. Like, if you put people in this situation, you're a killer. There's just no way around it. So, you know what? Yeah, fuck you, John. But damn, I'm still just glued to the screen when he's on. At about the halfway marker, Eric's had enough, walks out on John, and takes a break. That's when we kick back into the A plot. And let's go over some shit real quick. They have about 54 minutes left to cure themselves or succumb to the nerve gas. And yet, so far, no one has had any antidotes. This is a real bad sign. Daniel, fake ass Timothy Chalamet, almost reveals to these ex-convicts that his dad is a cop. Like, nope, stop right there, young kid. Do not make that crucial mistake. Xavier, his big ass, breaks down the door, which leads to the next game. I don't want to hype this too much. This is what I think of when I think of Saw 2, the Needle Pit. Oh, my skin is goddamn crawling as we talk about it, and there's goosebumps. I'd rather die, let the nerve gas take me, saw my head off with a spoon. I couldn't do the goddamn needle pit. It's just not happening. We're dead. Now keep in mind, this particular game was designed for Xavier himself, who is a pusher, so a drug dealer. He says, fuck that shit, and just yeets Amanda into the goddamn pit. This is what I will never forget. Ever. That is, of course, not including the John Kramer scenes, which I really found enduring for the most part. Words really can't describe this feeling that I'm having outside of the word that I love to overuse. Brutal. I think it's time that I buy myself a goddamn thesaurus. I feel like I don't have to tell you this. Amanda does not find the right needle in the stack of needles because that is virtually impossible, and the antidote is locked away forever. So, once again, we fucked up another game, and no one has had a single dose. Alright, this happens right around the time that John reveals that, surprise, Eric is a dirty cop. Yes, if you didn't already fucking know that shit. Not only is Eric dirty, his son Daniel is trapped in a house where 7 people have been falsely arrested by him. Oh shit. Okay, so Daniel's fucked. At least he has Amanda kinda on his side, but still, dude, it ain't looking good. You know, before we go too far, let's check in on Xavier, who just discovered that on the back of everyone's neck is a number leading to a code. And next thing you know, Jonas walks in, who's really not doing too well. He is struggling to stand up. Him and Xavier end up in a little bit of a tussle. Poor magical Negro Jonas. He does not make it through this fight. In actuality, people, Jonas is given a little bit of a short stick here. I don't know exactly what he's done, but he's clearly trying to reform his life, and he's one of the few survivors I actually was following. And before someone says it, it's not because he was the black guy. It didn't hurt. But no, he's actually a legit character. I mean, I would like to have seen him make it more so than maybe some other characters. Who knows? Maybe no one gets out. Oh. Yeah, people, Jonas was legit the soul of the group. Insert your racist stereotype there. Unfortunately for me, I laughed my ass off at the sound he made when, Xavier delivered the death blow. I'm not proud of it, but, the brother was in pain, but yeah, the way he played it off, look, I'm not made of stone, okay? This happens right around the time Laura, one of the, players of the game, this is when she goes into convulsions and she checks out. Also at this time, Xavier is going full antagonist now. He's actively hunting people down to get that code. Yeah, he's, charging through the hallway, screaming and yelling, just ready to kill. This is happening while Addison, the pretty one, yeah, her right here, she gets her ass trapped in possibly the easiest one to escape. Sorry to be that guy, but here's a quick reenactment. You could put your hand in. Of course, it's going to get stuck because of the blades, and that's the intention of the trap. Instead of putting your other hand in, instead of that, just put it in there, open the blades, grab the fucking antidote. This was the most avoidable one out of every single trap, possibly in the series. Squeaks! Ah, it felt good! This one kind of pissed me off. And she was fine as hell too. God damn it. Xavier walks in, checks her neck, and leaves her to bleed out, man. Fucking brutal, dude. Things are really revving up here, people. Eric is beating the shit out of John in his office. John has had enough. He caves in, decides, okay, I'm going to take you to your son, but it has to be only us two. Good thing, too, because while that's happening, fucking Xavier is chasing Daniel and Amanda throughout the house. This all leads to a chase within that house, and then it ends up in the iconic Saw 1 bathroom. Yes, complete with Adam's rotting corpse. Luckily for those two, they get the drop on old Xavier at the last second, and hey, the threat is now over. Eric's outside, he just pulled up. We can get the fuck out. I'm glad to, because this shit was cutting it too close for comfort. Let's get to the rating. Psych, it's not over just yet. I'm laughing because you would know that if you saw some of the later sequels, especially Saw X. I mean, very clearly she's in on the games here. But at the time, I wasn't ready for that. I was like 11 years old. This was all a big, elaborate plan for her to get back at Eric Matthews, the one who framed her and had her locked up originally. Okay, I get that. But why the fuck we gotta bring the kid into this? Just collateral damage. Amanda is here to secure her spot on, inheriting the Jigsaw throne. I sure hope there's no other accomplices or, anyone else who might have their eye on the throne. I would hate to see that in a sequel. And before we go, we have another twist. The games that were being played, that was not live footage. That was all pre-recorded. So who knows how long it's been since that shit went down. Where's Daniel? He is literally in Jigsaw's safe, right next to where Eric and he were sitting for their conversation, people. John, you sick, just twisted, smart bastard, you. God damn it, man. He was not kidding when he said all you have to do was sit here and talk to me. Man, that's brutal. And get this, Amanda traps Eric in that bathroom and leaves his ass to rot, just like our boy Adam. Of course, she must, twist the knife a little bit and deliver the iconic line.
Fucking bitch.
Game over.
I'll fucking kill you! You fucking pig! I'll fucking kill you! No!
And that, people, is Saw 2. I gotta be real, people. I feel like the first 3 films, this trilogy right here, this is probably best in the entire series, okay? I feel like once we get past 3, a lot of these movies take a huge nosedive, with some exceptions here and there. But yeah, my enthusiasm for these movies is not gonna last much longer. So be prepared in, a bunch of other reviews down the line. This one took the premise of the first one and then just made it so much bigger. And, although it's not perfect, I'm going to be real. I think this one is an improvement over Saw 1. Yes, people, it's blasphemy. I know. People love Saw 1, but Saw 2 is kind of my shit. It also happens to be the only one I've seen in theaters, if I'm not mistaken. That will change, of course, this year, because I am not going to miss Saw 11. Ooh, actually, before we get to the rating, there is one more note relating to the plot. Eric wakes up in that bathroom, chained, I get it, he's restrained. His gun is not too far out of his reach. Hi everyone, it's Henry from the future, which is technically in my past. That's weird. Anyway, at the time of this comment, I didn't know that the gun was empty, okay? I thought for some reason they left Eric Matthews with a loaded gun. So, instead of deleting this clip like I normally would when I'm this wrong, I'm going to leave it in. This is a very teachable moment for me and all of us. As of this recording, I'm getting ready to review Saw 4. Super exciting shit, isn't it? But hey, long story short, the gun is empty and we find out immediately in the sequel. I think that's it, people. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the regular video. With that being said, let's get into the shit show rating here, okay? Is this a good bad movie or a bad movie? I've already showed my cards, to be honest with you. This is a good bad movie. High class fuckery. Hands down. Yes, I love Saw 2. On the regular scale, add it to the collection. Yes, man, I'm not going to take this back. This is a good one. Check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Wow, people. This is only Saw 2. We got so many more sequels to go through, but we haven't even put a dent in this series yet. So, if you're into this sort of video, please do all the algorithm things that would help me out. Really trying to grow this channel this year. At this point, I'm pretty much stuck at around 415 to 420. Haha, yeah, 420. Anyway, I'm pretty much stuck in that phase. So if you do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Turn on notifications. Watch another video. This would mean the world to me. With that being said, it's time for me to skedaddle. And I'm never going to try to use that word ever again. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. My name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94, and I'm signing out, y'all. Deuces. Hey, it's me again, the guy from the thing you just watched. I just need to say thank you so much. You deserve a reward. So there you go. And while we're here, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, and most definitely check out another video. Perhaps this one right here, or maybe that one over there. The choice is entirely up to you. And that is the Ahead of the Curve promise.